In Washington, President Donald Trump stated on Friday that his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was incorrect in her March testimony regarding Iran's nuclear capabilities. This marks the second time in a week that President Trump has dismissed the assessment of his chosen intelligence director. The White House recently announced that Iran possesses everything necessary to build a nuclear weapon, and only requires approval from Iran's supreme leader to proceed. They claim that Iran could prepare a nuclear weapon within weeks. President Trump asserted that Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon. In March, Tulsi Gabbard testified on Capitol Hill, stating that the United States continues to assess that Iran is not actively building a nuclear weapon and that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003. Gabbard later insisted that she and the president are aligned in their views. On Friday, President Trump dismissed the public assessment of Iran by his intelligence community, specifically targeting Gabbard. The White House indicated that the president would decide within 2 weeks whether to join Israel in its strikes on Iran. Upon arriving in Bedminster, New Jersey, a reporter questioned President Trump about the intelligence he had regarding Iran's nuclear weapon development, noting that his intelligence community had found no evidence of such activity. President Trump responded, "Well then, my intelligence community is wrong," and when informed that it was his Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who made the statement, he simply said, "She's wrong," before moving on to the next question. Earlier in the week, while returning from a G7 summit in Canada, President Trump had already dismissed Gabbard's testimony. When a reporter pointed out her March testimony, he replied, "I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having one." Tulsi Gabbard took to social media to accuse media outlets of taking her testimony out of context. She clarified that America has intelligence indicating that Iran could produce a nuclear weapon within weeks to months if they decide to finalize the assembly. Vice President James David Vance commented on social media that Tulsi's testimony was in March, and a lot has changed since then. Sources have informed CBS News that President Trump has been briefed on the risks and benefits of bombing Fordo, Iran's most secure nuclear site. He believes that disabling it is necessary due to the risk of weapons being produced in a relatively short period. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt informed reporters on Thursday that the president would decide on whether to join Israel's strikes within 2 weeks and allow diplomatic efforts to unfold. In a statement read by Leavitt at a White House press briefing, President Trump said, "Based on the fact that there is a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." The Iranian foreign minister met with European diplomats in Geneva on Friday. When asked if a strike could occur before the 2-week deadline, President Trump stated, "I'm giving them a period of time. We'll see what that period of time is, but 2 weeks would be the maximum." Analyze the article thoroughly before taking action for the best results, even if it takes longer.